And I'm Erica Arvold. I'm a producer and a casting director.
And today we'd like to talk about a topic that I think we all know is back there, and it is very emotional and something that I think we really need to deal with, and that is managing disappointment as a performer. And most particularly, managing disappointment after you've been replaced or recast. And I'd like Eric to dive into that, and I think all actors need to hear this, most especially from a wonderful casting director, and how she feels about it.
So it happens. It happens a lot, actually. And I've been lucky enough to work on many different genres, and it happens so much in television. And especially half-hour television, a ton, and sometimes an hour television as well. The hardest is, honestly, I want to say, the hardest part of my job. It is I am so fraught with anxiety to tell an actor that they have been replaced, and I try so hard to be supportive because they wouldn't have gotten the part in the first place if they weren't a lovely, talented individual. And there can be all sorts of reasons that one is cut out, but sometimes it does have to do with their performance, and telling someone that is almost the hardest way of telling them, I think, instead of just, out completely. And that's when they're replaced with another actor to do that role. And but rarely does it have to do with the fact that they're not a solid actor. Mm-hmm. It's just on that day there was something that was switched about the performance, and another actor can fulfill that better. And it's tough. It's tough, and I've done it, and I try to be as boldly honest about the reasons as possible, because I've had a situation where there was a young woman, and I had to tell her the reason, and it was 5 years ago, and she was really depressed, really depressed, and then I don't know what happened, but she somehow got on the horse again, and she gave the best auditions that she's ever given, and she is booking, and quite successful now. And so I think that sometimes it's a turning point, actually, to reach the next level. So I think of it as a rite of passage, like horseback riding. You're not a real horseback rider unless you've fallen off 3 times. So
right. And that would be my advice. I'll see if I can do sort of I've been thinking about this for a while now. You have to find a mentality where it serves as an epiphany rather than something that's going to be a psyche crusher. So what do I mean by that? Let's hear what Erica says. Number one, it happens a lot. And so what you first have to do is see it as a business situation rather than a personal situation. We actors always have to find our own personal ways to separate out our own sense of self-worth from our sense of craft. So if you can find a way to saying, okay, this was a business thing that happened to me for whatever reasons, that's, I think, the first step. The next step, I would say, is exit gracefully as best you can. One of the worst things you can do, and I've seen actors do this, is badmouth a director or a casting director or another actor or an AD as they exit. It's a small business. Word gets around. Everyone talks to everyone. You want to keep if you can exit in a professional way, and they're going to remember that. And then if you couple it with what Erica said, it's hard for them too, then you're making it a lot easier for them if you exit gracefully. I think it's very important to do that. Number 3, and this is equally important, is if you are a union performer, and even if you're not, make sure that all the rules have been in place. Yeah. If you don't know, call your union rep, call your union, or ask an older actor. They still might have to pay you. Make sure no rules are violated, that they're doing it professionally themselves, so they're going to do that. Very important to do. Give you another sense of professionalism, business part of it as well. And then this I think is the most important, when the time is right. When the time is right, which means if you're really raw and it's pretty wounding, certainly, you might want to do it right away. Just wait a little bit. But you must do some self-reflection. Mm-hmm. You must ask yourself, was there something I did? Was there something that I could do better? Can I do better preparation? Was there behavior on set that I performed that I could do better? Is there a behavior I want to eliminate? Do some really honest self-reflection, because ultimately, and this is what I tell all my students, that we have to be masters of the rejection. We have to be very, very skillful at it. That really is something that we're going to have. And we all know this. if you don't know that you're going to be rejected, quote unquote, 80 to 85% of the time in auditions, that this is going to be what's going to happen in your life, and find a way to absorb and adjust that and turn it into this. Turn that rejection into an opportunity for self-improvement. And that's what I think you said, your wonderful story, is that somehow that actor saw the light, saw this as epiphany. It's a brutal one, but says, oh, wait a minute, there's something I can do about this. I can be proactive in this. I can do deeper, better preparation. I can come in and be more present in, I can be more aware of what's going on in my surroundings as I get the work done. If there's even one or two things that you can advance, you'd be surprised how that's going to help you maintain or regain control of your profession. And then finally this, is that, and maybe this is the most essential thing, you got to dive back in. You can't take it personally, you got to dive back in. And the way you do that is, I think, doing this. In your life, do at least one thing every day or every other day that will advance your career. Take a class, read a book about auditioning, read a script, practice a monologue. Do one thing, because that will set yourself on the course of being, wait a minute, this is a craft and I can get better at this. Can I finish this way? I'm a baseball fan. And if you're not, there's a wonderful place for all baseball players called the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame hitters, the most magnificent baseball hitters of all time, are 300 hitters. They hit 300%. That means the greatest baseball players of all time fail 7 times out of 10 at the plate, and they're still in the Hall of Fame. And they accept that not as a failure, but as a way to, in fact, gain information about the pitcher they're going to hit the next time up. So we as actors, I think, have to adopt that. We can be Hall of Fame performers if we realize that if we are magnificent just 3 out of 10 times, you know. Yes. I think that at least is an analogy for me. So don't take heart. There are all sorts of wonderful stories about these where we can turn what looks like apparently career-ending tragedies into something that really actually is gives us deeper work, more connection to who we are as a performer.
Well said.